Oh my God, question after question.
What's
Guys,
a Facebook?
What's a Facebook? What's up, guys? Welcome on into Fantasy Intervention. We got some big news breaking out. We have some huge news breaking out. Oh my God. And to talk about it with me, I've got Juan of a Kind, Larry Monkey, and of course, Bo McBigtime. What's going on, guys? At work. He had to take a break to talk about it. It's that important.
It is important.
Oh my God, man. This is driving me nuts. This is driving me absolutely insane, right? Because Le'Veon Bell just signed with the Chiefs, guys. With the Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, I'm so stoked. I don't think I've ever been this stoked before in my life. And all those dickbags out there that were sitting there saying that I was an idiot for liking Swift more than CEH because Adrian Peterson signed. This is payback to all you dickbags out there. And yes, I'm calling you guys dickbags.
Well, Swift was the top talented back coming out of the draft until the draft happened, and everybody got their panties in a bunch over the landing spot for CEH, which was definitely ideal, but you can't count on that, especially when he was maybe my RB7 coming into the draft. I mean, it's still, he has his limitations, and now he's got a big stinking all-pro guy in his way, stealing his touches, man. That's big news.
Oh man, I am so stoked about this. What's your quick take, guys? Like right off the bat, what do you think is going to happen over here in Kansas City just to start it out?
I think it's just an improvement. Like the rich get richer. Like as far as fantasy aside, football-wise, those two guys at the same time on the field next to Mahomes with Hill and Hardman stretching the field and Kelsey demanding double teams. Like look out defenses. That's my thing is we might see something historic happening right here. Like
it's scary.
No,
it's already scary.
We won't see Lev Bell this weekend, but Andy Reid has a history with getting the most out of his running backs. And he falls right in line with that pass catching back. And it's exciting to see. I mean, this is not like a LaShawn McCoy type of signing. Bell's got a lot left in the tank. So I would just,
and Bell doesn't fumble.
Go the ride. Yeah, you're right. Bell's legit, man. We're going to see yet another player leave Adam Gase and prosper.
Oh, man, I love it. And the big thing that I brought up today was the fact of Damien Williams' improvement, right? Damien Williams, when he left Adam Gase and went to Andy Reid, he went from 46 rushes for 181 yards and 0 touchdowns under Gase to 50 rushes for 256 yards and 4 touchdowns under Reid. His efficiency exploded, not to mention the fact that he had an additional 5 yards and an additional touchdown in the receiving game on 4 less targets. Imagine what Reid can do with Le'Veon Bell's efficiency if he can do that with Damien Williams. I mean, come on. I am so amped right now. Like, I'm so amped.
It's sexy, but I do want to temper expectations a little bit because this might be a better, like, pigskin football, like actual football move than it is a fantasy move. Yeah. I'm looking to buy CEH a little low right now in Dynasty because people are going to be freaking the fuck out. But I'm also going to be kind of tempering what happens this year between the two of them. We might see an even split for a while. And if you have draft capital in CEH, I'm not dropping him, but I might be putting him on the bench a few weeks. It's going to be matchup dependent instead of just plugging him in and letting him go.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how it all shakes out as well. This will be your last swan. This will be CEH's swan song weekend here before he has to split time. So get him in your lineups now, or try to trade him, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I'm holding CEH. He is the younger. I mean, the guy's got fresh legs. I mean, got to remember Bell wasn't that all efficient. I know it's the Jets. I know it's Adam Gase, but you have to remember he did take a year off and he came in overweight last year and a little out of shape. So
he was in shape this year. We saw those pictures, man.
He's in great shape this year. He's in great shape this year.
No, now I'm a big fan of Le'Veon Bell in this situation. A lot of these, videos that everybody's putting out of the Chiefs getting stuffed at the line, right, are videos where the offensive lineman isn't getting pushed. Well, that's not always going to happen. An offensive lineman isn't going to push a defensive tackle back 5 yards and have a giant gaping hole. Some of these defenses are better. And when it comes to these goal line backs, they have to get power behind them. And they have to get that running head start. They got to push their offensive lineman, into the end zone along with it. And you just see, CEH just run right into the back of his lineman, and the lineman didn't even move like an inch. So.
And he's a little guy too, so he's not going to push his own.
No, but Le'Veon Bell coming out of college was actually thought to be a fullback by some. And he was supposed to be, if he wasn't a fullback, he was going to be a goal line back only. They didn't think that Le'Veon Bell was going to be as good as what he was. So he's coming in to play that goal line type back. And I think that he's going to see more than just that. But, this is the role where he would be perfect. Like, he is the perfect guy to fit in this situation, especially since he can catch passes out of the backfield.
Yeah, the knock on Le'Veon Bell coming out was just his simple sprint speed was very slow, but he's very agile. He's one of the best patient runners of his era. It just comes down to pure talent. The guy just knows how to find the hole. He knows how to find the end zone too if he's given the chance. And just because he doesn't have breakaway speed, and he never has, that's not something you can discount him for, because he's never had to use breakaway speed. He's always been able to just pull off chunk after chunk when there's really nothing there.
Yeah.
To your point, Chase, though, he was 236 coming out of college, like out of the Senior Bowl, and he was a big back. He was supposed to be a big body type goal line back. And he has that nose for the end zone because he's been in the league for so many years. He has the patience. He runs into that block, like you said, and if he doesn't get the push, he can slide to the right or slide to the left and get in the end zone. Like you saw Madison the other night against the Seahawks, how he just stopped there. We all thought Dalvin Cook would have gotten the first down because he's savvy enough to make that little shift to the right or the left and get the yards. And Bell is great at that. And Andy Reid is going to finally have a back that can help him around the goal line. That's what's exciting, that the efficiency of the offense is just going right through the roof.
R.I.P. Darrell Williams.
So 8 total looks inside the 5 for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had 1 target, 7 rushes. On those 8 total looks, he has -3 yards rushing, 0 touchdowns. Only Mixon has been less efficient inside the 5. Only Joe Mixon has. And Joe Mixon only has 3 total touches, or three looks. If you're taking out CEH's failed attempts up against these teams, we have the Ravens, who allowed 6 touchdowns on 10 plays. We have the Texans, who allowed 6 touchdowns on 15 plays. And we have the Raiders, who allowed 7 touchdowns on 12 plays inside the 5. So, guys, like, these 2 out of the 3 of those teams that I mentioned, you could pretty much just walk into the end zone up against them on these other plays. I mean, 6 touchdowns on 10 plays? That's nuts. And yet Clyde Edwards-Helaire couldn't even get close. He has -3 yards total against these guys. That's crazy to me.
His vision hasn't been developed yet, and that's what Le'Veon Bell does better than anybody. Wait it out, let things develop in front of him, and he makes his offensive line better because he'll grab onto a belt loop and just say, "Hey, big fella, I'm waiting for you. Get in your spot, lock onto your guy, and then I'm going to just skirt past you." And he's done that his whole career, and he didn't really have a chance to do that with the Jets because up until this year, they haven't had a lineman that was worth a darn. And this year, they weren't even healthy when they had Mekhi Becton. He's been banged up, and they just, who you going to run behind? You're getting guys in your grill as soon as you get the ball. And so Gase is the ultimate. The
Gase hole.
Yeah, he's the ultimate joker card because everybody who goes to him just seems like. You hear about Kenyon Drake. It's like, he's not having a great year this year, but look what happened as soon as he got free of that whole situation where everybody's saying, "Oh, Kenyon Drake is bad. Kenyon Drake is bad. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that." And then he goes to Arizona and just balls out for half of a year. It's it makes you think like how many great players are sitting in a Gase system right this very moment that could be so much better somewhere else.
God, almost every player outside of the slot receiver. So think Jamal Charles.
Crowder's just
Crowder's loving life. Yeah, Crowder's loving life, man. He's eating.
And
only position.
Jarvis used to love life too when Gase was there. He was the one eating.
Seeing like 150 targets a year out of
exactly.
the slot.
Yeah.
So I like this comp. Think Jamal Charles with the Chiefs. Fast receiving back, patient, quick. Now, I don't think that the speed is there, that straight line speed. Right. But when it comes to the shiftiness, I kind of like it. Like, I don't hate the comp.
Charles was lightning fast.
Yeah, he hit a hole and got up it and he was gone, man.
Yeah,
I don't think Bell was that bad.
Yeah, Charles is closer to like your Chris Johnson type, where it's like he's quick and shifty and he can catch the ball, and then it basically you give him enough space and he's gone. But Bell is going to be like, he's going to top out at a 30-yard play and they're going to catch him from behind and ride him out of bounds, but he's going to get very few negative plays.
So let's go ahead and answer this YouTube or Nathan's question. Is CEH useless now?
Not by any stretch.
So what do you guys think? Where is he going to finish out? Because I honestly, like, even, with him being the lead back there, I wasn't taking CH before like the 4th round, because I want guys with high upside and high floors in the first 3 rounds. And I don't think that CH had a high enough ceiling, although his floor was way up there. Like his floor and ceiling were like this close. So I want a guy with high end upside. And now CH not only isn't going to get the goal line work, he might actually get kind of, reduced when it comes to his workload. So where is he going to finish up? If you guys say from now until the end of the season, where does he finish? As an RB2, RB3, RB4?
Maybe a back-end RB2. He's still got plenty of potential, especially in that offense. He's going to get plenty of chances. I don't see Andy Reid abandoning him by any stretch. I mean, the real guy that's dead here is Darrell Williams, who was getting about 20-25% of the touches at running back position just to spell CEH. I mean, if anything, this might be a blessing for CEH to get less touches, to kind of see what works and what doesn't. And we might see more explosive plays out of CEH because the expectations and the pressure are kind of off of him now.
Totally. Let's go down to Larry. Bo. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, totally agree with Bo. I think, if anything, it keeps CEH fresh, keeps his legs fresh. I mean, these guys are hitting, there's the rookie wall is no joke. So, and again, with all the lack of the practice reps and stuff in the preseason, this more or less is going to catch up to these young guys at some point, one would think. So I feel like the addition of Bell is going to just open things up for CH. He can kind of relax. He doesn't have to put that pressure on being the number 1 guy in the Super Bowl champion team. I think he can loosen up a little bit, and I feel like his. Yeah, I'm with what everything Bo said. I mean, back end RB2. I mean, if everybody stays healthy, you're going to see a lot of CEH down the stretch.
So we're going to do some who would you rather own. But before we do that, Juan, I want you to take your hit, and we're going to go to who would you rather own.
Yeah, really quickly. Right now, he's RB12, CEH. And you think back to 2018, Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram were both able to sustain a top 10 pace. So I don't see him falling all the way down to low end too. I'm a little bit optimistic. And I think Bell being able to split up out wide, go to the slot, and both of them are versatile enough to do both things. I think they can sustain that 5-6 catches a game kind of floor where they're both flex RB2s every week, but they end up finishing both in the top 20 kind of at the end of the year.
This is going to be a nightmare for everybody involved, to be honest, outside of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, the stress on the defense is going to be extreme, even more than it is now. Like he said, Le'Veon Bell is very well known for lining up in the slot and being a very good slot receiver. Mm-hmm. And that's more in line with Andy Reid's system. He's not a dump off kind of to the running back kind of system. He likes to move guys around. I mean, you might see Mecole Hardman out of the backfield more often and catch balls out of the backfield more than a running back will. They like to run those gadget end around, misdirection, shovel passes. There's going to be a lot of that going on. And try being a linebacker against that offense these days. It's going to be impossible.
All right, so we're going to do redraft, and then we're going to do dynasty, all right? But just say, hey, in redraft, I would rather own this player. In dynasty, I'd rather own this player. So we're going to start out with Antonio Gibson, a fellow rookie. Who would you rather own in dynasty, and who would you rather own in redraft? Let's go ahead and go to Larry first.
Gibson or CEH? Is that what we're talking about?
Yep, Gibson or CEH.
Okay, yeah, I will stick with CEH in dynasty. Ooh. In redraft, I will take Gibson.
All right, Bo?
I agree with that. You got Gibson's getting a good share of the role in Washington already, and I'd say McKissick is kind of your flash in the pan. He's getting more touches now, but I see Gibson's role developing more as the season goes along. So redraft is Gibson for me, and CEH has still got sky's the limit. Bell is 28. He's on a 1-year deal. I don't see him sticking around Kansas City for more than a cup of coffee, but it might help CEH develop because the same thing happened with James Conner, to where James Conner was not that good of a running back coming out of Pittsburgh. He was kind of a nobody. And Le'Veon Bell, for however much of a cancer Pittsburgh said he was in the clubhouse, he taught James Conner quite a bit. How to be a receiving back, how to be a patient back. And now we're seeing that with Conner when he's healthy on the field. He's pretty darn good.
All right, Juan?
Yeah, I agree with both of their takes for the same reasons that they said, and I would keep Gibson for redraft, and for dynasty, I'm keeping CEH. But Gibson right now has a chance. Kyle Allen came with Scott Turner, with Ron Rivera, and he has the chance to be a mini CMC. Like, he has that ceiling that you like so much.
Yeah.
So if I have a guy that has that kind of ceiling, and I have another one who's being hindered by Le'Veon Bell, who's borderline Hall of Fame type numbers producer when he was in there, I'm going to go with Gibson for the redraft. But I'm keeping CEH for all the same reasons that Bo said.
So I'm actually going to go a different route than you guys. So I have Justin Fields actually slotted in to go to Washington. And with Justin Fields' mobility and his ability to run the RPO, it actually makes Gibson a really, really sexy play because of the fact that they could utilize him in the passing game and a little bit more in the running game. And there's some efficiency, could go through the roof essentially. So I'm actually going to take Antonio Gibson in both those scenarios, because what if Le'Veon Bell actually does really, really well there, since he's not the premier guy. He's not the best guy on the field. What if he does really well there when it comes to efficiency, but he doesn't get a huge workload, thus not giving him much leverage in free agency to demand a major contract? Meanwhile, a lot of these players, like Kareem Hunt, for example, are opting to actually stay with the same teams that have, other good running backs. So that way they don't get utilized, thus extending their career for an additional 3 or 4 years, because, let's face it, like the running back position, you might see 1 year out of it, and then that's it. You're done. So I'm thinking personally that we could actually see a huge, uptick in efficiency from, of course, Antonio Gibson. Meanwhile, Le'Veon Bell might resign there for $4 million a year, $5 million a year, if he's only getting utilized as in 50% of the snaps. I'm just saying.
But how many points are the Chiefs going to score compared to how many points the Redskins are going to score?
If Chase Fields is there, we don't, we could see a huge uptick. We saw Cam Newton.
You did it again. Chase Fields.
Oh, I did it again. I always say
He's your son.
That's a lot of ifs. That's a lot of ifs to put on the Washington football team to do the right thing. And
it's a lot of ifs as a whole, but we all know that Antonio Gibson should be that bell cow back over there.
Yeah.
What's up, Chef? We got Chef in the house.
What's up?
Hello, Chef.
What up?
Hey, Chef, I got a question for you. Who would you rather have, Antonio Gibson or CEH in redraft and in dynasty? Gibson. For both redraft and dynasty?
There he goes.
Let's do it. All right.
Yeah, I think Gibson has the overall shot to be the bell cow for this foreseeable future. I think obviously bringing in Le'Veon Bell, you're going to have somebody to tote the rock on the goal line and pass pro. I love CEH. I love his elusiveness. I love the fact that he's great catching the ball, but he does not have the size when it counts to go up against some of those big, tough defenses in the AFC West.
He's quick, but he's not fast, guys.
He's terrible in pass pro.
Yeah. He struggles there, yeah.
All right, so let's go with another guy in dynasty and redraft, and let's pick out Austin Eckler. No, that's too easy. Let's pick out let's go with Darrell Henderson, who's actually been a complete shocker of a pick. I mean, there were a few people, don't get me wrong. Maybe it was one of you guys that actually had Darrell Henderson, taking the starting job. But Cam Akers is supposed to be the guy, right? He's supposed to be the guy. I personally had Malcolm Brown. So let's go to the Chef first. Yeah. Chef, who did you have in this offense, and who would you rather have, Darrell Henderson or CEH in redraft and in dynasty?
Ooh, I had Cam Akers, and I still have Cam Akers. I think the usage starts to uptick further as long through the season. You'll see that, and McVay publicly came out this week and said that he was going to give Akers more of a chance, more of the snap share. He's a star, man. You saw it. I think he's great for that offense, and we see Darrell Henderson become more of that third down back throughout the season.
McVay never lies or anything.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
Well,
he's not a good poker player.
Well, he's been right so far. He said he was going to run the 12. He's running the 12. He's RBBCing. He's doing that. So hey, you got to trust him to a certain extent. And so it's Darrell Henderson or who?
CEH.
It's CEH.
Okay, yeah, I'm probably in the same boat. I don't really need to say much more. Larry, how about you?
I mean, I would say I wouldn't even put Henderson in the mix. It would be Akers versus CEH for me.
All right, let's do all three then.
Yeah, I mean, I would still take CEH. I know they're both in a high volume offense, and here's my daughter. Hello. So Yeah, man. I think CEH is tied to Pat Mahomes, and that's where I'm going to hang my hat.
That's a pretty good hang.
Smart man. Smart man.
Very good hang.
Bet on Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I'm a huge Akers guy. Like Akers is
love Akers.
Stud. He was my RB2 coming into the draft behind Swift. And actually probably RB3 behind Swift and Taylor. But we're dealing with a guy who didn't have much running room at Florida State, and he was still balling out. And now he's in an offense that predicates itself on running the rock and play action and throwing the ball to the backs. Darrell Henderson's been really good. He's a very explosive player, but he doesn't have the pedigree that Cam Akers has. He was just like Tony Pollard or even Gibson coming out of Memphis. You have these explosive guys. If you get them in space, they're great, but they're not an every down back. They're never going to be. Cam Akers is an every down back. He's born for that. He's the kind of guy you can hang your hat on as a player. That being said, I would take Cam Akers in Dynasty over CEH.
Woo!
Ooh, I like that, man. I got him late this year.
Bo, I love that take because I am a CH truther and I wanted him from the beginning because of the offense, strictly because of where he's tied. And Akers reminded me a little bit of Lev Bell in the patience and the being able to skirt around a bad offensive line. And if McVay were going to use him like Gurley, I would go with Akers. But because I don't trust McVay, I go CEH and I trust that offense. Simply out of that.
Either, but I just love the talent.
Me too.
And he can actually pass block, unlike CEH.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I believe, Bo, you brought up Swift, right? So let's go Swift next. Who do you guys want in redraft, and who do you guys want in Dynasty? Swift or CH? Let's go the opposite way. Juan, you're up.
I'm going to stick with CEH on this. I love Swift's talent, and standalone, he could be a mini Gurley type player. Like, I love him. Maybe Thurman Thomas. Like, I don't know what I see in him, but greatness is involved in whatever comp you have for him. But again, I can't trust Patricia in that offense and what's going to happen. And then just Bevel going to stay there. Like, I don't know what's going to happen there. So situation wise, you got to be strategic. And I lean on Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to go CH.
Bo?
I go Swift on this one. We're already seeing we're seeing Patricia on the outs here, and Adrian Peterson got put on the illness report. So he's out. Swift is going to get a big time audition this Sunday.
Coming off a bye, by the way.
So he's so good. You watch this guy play at Georgia. He is explosive. He does everything you want a back to do. I don't see Patricia sticking around for the whole year. And I also don't see the Lions moving in a direction away from their star rookie running back. The rest of their team is kind of getting older. Galladay's a young, talented receiver. Hawkinson's a young, talented tight end, but Stafford's getting up there and he's got a long injury history. This is a team that's going to be looking to build around the offensive weapons they have, and probably with a new head coach. So I'm taking Swift there because the upside is through the roof.
It absolutely is, 100%. All right, Larry, what you got for me?
Yeah, I'm going Swift, and I know that
how the pendulum swings.
Well, I know. Well, because I didn't go with Gibson earlier because of the offense mainly, compared to CEH being tied to Pat Mahomes and that high-powered offense. Here you have a similar situation with the dreadful Detroit Lions, but I think Swift. Bo said it, man. He's got a lot of complementary pieces, and once Patricia's out of there, they're gonna. Swift is. He's just got that talent. And remember, he was the 101. Forever before the NFL draft, before he went to Detroit. Like if he went anywhere else in Detroit, he probably still would have been the 101, but he went to Detroit. Probably the Jets would probably have been a worse landing spot. But I'm going Swift just based on the talent entering. It's going to come through. That's just how.
I just thought of his comp too because Juan couldn't think of it. You'll love this, Larry. DeAndre Swift is the next Curtis Martin.
Oh, there you go.
That's actually a good take. I kind of like that.
I like that.
Yellow jacket.
I think it could be better, to be honest with you.
Full jacket.
I think it could be better.
Martin is one of the most underrated players in NFL history. And
I'm not disagreeing there. I think that Swift has more breakaway potential and big play potential. And Curtis Martin still is great at it, but I think that he has elite breakaway potential. Curtis Martin's great. So Chef, what's up, man? What are you thinking?
I'm with the other two. It's Swift all the way, and the only reason why CEH was so high on the boards was the landing spot, and then obviously the Damien Williams holdout, or the opt-out rather. And Swift is ultimately a 3-down back, and not necessarily they're going to use him that way. They may bring in somebody for the goal line work here or there in Detroit, but especially in redraft, he's coming at, like you said, Chase, he's coming out of the bye, and I'm taking a look at his schedule here.
Cupcakes.
Jacksonville, Atlanta, except for the Indianapolis and the Washington game, I think they're pretty good. I mean,
yeah,
he has the option. If he's on the field for all 3 downs, he's just going to smash, man. There's no way if fans buts about it. Matthew Stafford has never really had a pass-catching all 3-down back, so I think he's a smash hit.
So if you have CEH, go try and trade him for Swift, of course, because you guys already know what I'm going to say. You guys already know. I love Swift. I love DeAndre Swift. He is going to ball out this week, and he is going to not only crush CEH in both Dynasty and Redraft, but he is going to be one of the best running backs in NFL history. Just telling you guys right now.
I kind of cheated too, though, Chase. I heard your pod earlier today with Mike at Daddy's Home FF, and you guys were praising DeAndre Swift, and I was patting myself on the back for picking him up everywhere I could this year.
Dude, he's going to ball out, and this is his breakout week. So real quick, Jacksonville actually has the 3rd most explosive plays allowed to the running back with 21, only 3 behind Houston and 2 behind Cincinnati. It's incredible, like how porous they are on that defensive side. This is Swift's breakout week. All right, this is it. And then going forward, he's going to be unattainable, especially in dynasty leagues. Guys, Adrian Peterson's out. This is it. This is his breakout week. We are witnessing it firsthand. Guys, go and get DeAndre Swift while you still can. You won't regret it.
Chase, I have a question about Swift in DFS this week. Is he going to be the most chalky player in the history of chalk?
I don't know, man.
4,500.
I don't know. Swift is going to be. He's going to be up there.
I don't think so. I think most projections still have Adrian Peterson in that role, getting all the work. Like especially in I see it on Sleeper. Their projections are way off. Way off.
Once people get wind that Peterson's not going to play because of illness, I think that $4,500 price tag is going to be it's going to be a bug zapper for all the moths out there. It's going to be just.
I'm still playing it. 100%. I'm playing it. You'll probably beat him as every single
That's
lineup.
the chalk you have to eat, man. You got to eat that if that's the case. For 4,500, it's a smash.
All right, so let's go through like 2 more, and then we'll get out of here. Let's go Kenyon Drake. Who would you rather have, CH or Kenyon Drake moving forward?
Ooh.
I'd rather have Chase Edmonds.
Same.
He's
Took
right
my
there.
answer.
He's right there. All right, so let's go Chase Edmonds. Would you rather have Chase Edmonds or CH or Kenyon Drake? Pick one. Pick one of the 3.
CEH for Dynasty, redraft Chase Edmonds. He's going to start carving out more of a role from Kenyon Drake because Kenyon Drake just doesn't fit that offense. He's plenty talented, but they're running stretch plays to the short side of the field all day with him, and there's nowhere to run. And they got these little gadget packages for Edmonds, so he might touch the ball 8 to 10 times, but he's doing something with it. Drake just running in the back of the lineman or out of bounds because there's nowhere to go. It's not gonna work even if he gets 20 carries every game.
All right. What you got, Larry?
I have no interest in Drake. It doesn't matter. Edmonds over Drake. I like CEH over all those guys just because CEH is on. I mean, I get it. I mean, they're both high volume offenses, but again, you have Edmonds and Drake and Edmonds and Drake, and I know Bell is on the scene now, but CEH, he did carve. He has himself carved out a role, and they're not going to kick him to the curb. I mean, he's got the draft capital. They're going to want to use him. Bell's not going to come in and just light the world on fire. Remember, he's looked like shit for 2 years, and the year before that, he wasn't even in the league. So
yeah, but it was under Adam Gase.
I understand that, but we're talking about. I mean, Chase Edmonds is great, but he's still dealing with all the backs. He's dealing with Kenyon Drake. He's not even the top guy there. So I don't know. I like CEH in redraft and dynasty over the Arizona backfield.
Larry, show me your Gase face.
Oh, Jesus. I can't make my eyes go in 2 different directions.
You gotta.
Well,
Are we all doing it right now?
Is there a fucking taco flying in the air or something?
For redraft, I actually like Edmonds, and reason being with the Arizona Cardinals with their air raid offense, they're starting to pick it up a little bit better. And their defense isn't as solid as we hoped it was going to be with the addition of the who'd they pick up? Isaiah Simmons. Yeah,
been on the field.
Yeah, he hasn't been on the field, and you know what? They're going to have to throw the ball. He is becoming that solid target. CEH for redraft, he's still viable, and by all means, don't go out and drop him. But there are so many weapons on that offense that can make a longer stretch down the field. I feel like it's going to be tough to predict when and where he's going to go off and have a great fantasy day. Not saying he won't have a great fantasy day, but the prediction of Chase Edmonds going forward in that air raid offense, I think overtakes it.
Yeah.
For Dynasty, it's CEH.
For me, it's not even, relatively close. I about 2 years ago, I liked Kenyon Drake, and I'll never forget the moment. I was walking my dog, and I know exactly the step that I took when I read on RotoWorld that Kenyon Drake was going to split carries 50-50 with Kalen Balazs. And that was the moment that I realized that Kenyon Drake wasn't that good. And so I traded him away everywhere. And I still believe that strongly that he's not that good. I think that he has, potential to succeed in different offenses, but this isn't the right offense for him. I think that Aaron Jones is going to come in here next year and actually take that starting job. But this year, that's my
I heard that on the pod, right?
Yeah,
so Aaron Jones going to slide over.
I think Aaron Jones. I don't think that the Green Bay Packers are going to actually want to pay Aaron Jones. The money that he's going to demand because of his, high-end production, especially with having a second-round pick there and potentially signing Jamal Williams or re-signing Jamal Williams. So I think that Aaron Jones is going to end up in Arizona where they have a bunch of salary cap space, where they need to have that star back take pressure off of Kenyon Drake. They're going to invest in that offensive line in the draft. At least I'm hoping that they do, for Kyler Murray's sake, of course. And I think that for redraft, it's Chase Edmonds. And for Dynasty, I'm actually going to take CEH over Chase Edmonds because of the injury history of Chase Edmonds. I don't think Chase Edmonds has ever played a full season, even dating back to college.
No, he probably hasn't. But I don't see the Packers not paying Aaron Jones, especially not over Jamal Williams, who's absolutely dreadful. Like, I've never seen the guy break a tackle ever, and I watch a lot of football. Like, have you ever seen Jamal Williams break a tackle? He should not.
I don't know if they need him to, really.
It would be nice. But Aaron Jones is a special
he feels like SpongeBob. He feels like SpongeBob.
No, Aaron Jones is a special player. He's a lot like a healthy Todd Gurley, nose for the end zone, just explosive in the running and passing game. And the Packers would be crazy not to extend him, especially with the season he's putting up now. Jamal Williams is not the kind of guy you want to keep around instead of Aaron Jones. And A.J. Dillon, he's good. He'll be a good goal line back. He reminds me of T.J. Duckett. Really slow, really bad vision, but he's big and strong.
He's
and
fast.
He's not. He ran like a 4.6.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need lightning quick speed as an RB. We know that. Yeah.
He's a lot like Jerome Bettis, T.J. Duckett, big, strong backs that are hard to bring down if they have a head of steam. And there's a role there for him, but it's not yet. And I don't think Jamal Williams is going to stick around there.
Hold on. Give me a second, because his 40 time was impressive.
All right.
What I remember.
For its size, sure.
You dig that for a second, Chase, and
There's a 4.5.
I'll plug the new FF intervention that just went live on YouTube. Our fantasy 6-pack is out on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. Chase, if you want to plug that channel by name, offhand, I don't know it.
We actually need to reach. We need to reach 100 followers before we can actually plug it by name. But it's Fantasy Football Intervention when you have to search it. And we're starting up a YouTube. So you guys go onto YouTube, search Fantasy Football Intervention, and go follow us. So that way we can actually.
I already follow it.
Or subscribe. Yeah, it's a great channel. We're gonna have all sorts of fun content coming out. We have quick shots, which we just started out. It's gonna be amazing. It's like a 3-minute long video as to where I guess, or which player is going to do really, really well this week in most cases, or which player might struggle. We got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes right now, and I'm really excited for it. So, yeah, huge shout out to, of course, Chef, Juan, and Corey for putting together the 6-pack. I'm excited about it, guys. I watched it. It is very, very good. So,
yeah, it just came out, and my stock up guy was Chase Edmonds, and I go out and listen to the feedback, man. We got some great stats on Edmonds. His stock is going up, man. His catch rate is through the roof, 78%, yielding 18 receptions for 129 through the air, 4 targets in at least 4 out of the first 5 games. He's solid, man. Just go out there, watch the clip. It's awesome stuff, and obviously we're going to be bringing a lot more stuff for Fantasy Intervention.
Plus, we get to answer your questions when you're on YouTube as well. So,
yeah,
who can I trade? David Johnson or Joe Mixon for? CH probably. No, I'm just kidding.
You can trade David Johnson for a bag of Ruffles potato chips. Joe Mixon might get you a DeAndre Swift character. Plus the wide receiver.
If we're talking dynasty, by the way, if we're talking dynasty, I think I don't think I'd move Joe Mixon for Swift.
I wouldn't move
in
Joe
redraft,
Mixon,
right?
No, I mean, in redraft, you want to get another piece for Mixon, I would say, because his volume's always going to be there. Yeah, I would think like get Swift and maybe a mid-range wide receiver to fill in that value. But I mean, I would hold Mixon. Mixon's got some tough matchups coming up, but after that, it's smooth sailing, and he's too good to not have on your team, because you might run into the time where he has 20 touches for 64 yards, but he busts 2 long touchdown runs. I mean,
Do you guys think that David Johnson, like you could actually get like Antonio Gibson for him, or maybe Miles Gaskin?
Miles Gaskin. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
That'd be a great trade.
Season. You know, we haven't talked about the collateral. Not collateral damage, but I mean, fire up your Pirine shares, right?
Yeah, I snagged him everywhere.
Baby.
Yeah, we didn't even dive into that.
Miles
Michael,
Gaskin, not Samaje, but you know, we have Miles Gaskin. I mean, the threat Bell was going to go. Bell would have just ruined Gaskin's value, and now he's the guy there now. I mean, the target share and the touches. I mean, he's in full control of that backfield. They didn't even start Jordan. Jordan Howard didn't even suit up on Sunday. So
I think he was sick, I believe.
Was he sick? Well,
yeah,
they didn't miss him.
No.
No, and they never will. He's only a goal line back. I did some research back like 2 weeks ago, and at the time he had 17 carries for 13 yards and like 4 touchdowns or something like that. He is literally just a goal line back.
Yeah.
So
David Johnson for any young, solid running back who gets a lot of touches. That would be my advice, because David Johnson is just going to be a money pit in your starting roster if you have him.
He already has Gaskin, so that's not going to work.
That's fine. Yeah, Gibson is a great target.
Gibson should be somebody that you should target. Any kind of wide receiver too, probably.
Maybe an AJ Dillon.
Any of the Pittsburgh wide receivers, perhaps, if you can get your hands on with a David Johnson trade, maybe.
Deontay
actually traded.
Deontay Johnson's stock is just, he's got the bad back now. It's a perfect time to pounce on him. I would try going after him.
And Edwin Porras, by the way, came out on Twitter today and said, do not move off of Deontay Johnson. You need to start him this week. His back is fine.
He's going to be fine.
Yeah. So. All right, we got Kim in here. Kim, what's up, Kim? Kim is one of my favorite people ever. She dominates her fantasy leagues. It's insane. She always has these questions where it's like, hey, who should I pick up? I've got 20 already loaded backs. So PPR, pick one. Darius Slayton, Julian Edelman, Chenault, or pick up Deontay Johnson, which we were just talking about, actually. I am going to go with Chenault likely this week. I like Chenault this week. And I know Bo loves Chenault.
If Chark sits, then definitely.
Whether or not he does, I'm all over LaVisca. LaVisca's floor is high and his ceiling's even higher. And I've been on Chenault since he was at Colorado, so it's no question. I would try to pick up Deontay because, I mean, he's going to be an ease especially if you can get him for free. And I'm not high on Slayton for the rest of the year because you just don't know when he's going to go off.
Yeah, if you can do that, by the way, Watkinson. Sorry, struggle with that one. I would definitely do that for sure. No, the current question.
Oh,
yes.
Sorry.
All right, on to Grogan. All right, Larry's got to hop out of here, guys. So Larry, we'll see you later.
One more. What's this one? 10 team,
one quarterback league. I drafted Tom Brady. I waiver claimed Andy Dalton this past week. Someone dropped Ryan Tannehill on Tuesday night. Do I hold with Dalton and Brady or pick up Tannehill?
Tannehill's a no-brainer.
Tannehill's a top 10 quarterback now.
If you compare the last 14 games between Ryan Tannehill and Pat Mahomes, Tannehill has better statistics. He's a higher rated quarterback than Pat Mahomes the last 14 games.
I think people just now realize that you can comment, by the way, so we're starting to get the comments flying in.
Tannehill's floor is actually legendary right now, and he has these random games where he'll go even higher. It usually happens when A.J. Brown's getting work, and we saw it against Buffalo. Tannehill's legit, and you definitely don't want to have to rely on Andy Dalton, who's probably really rusty. Lots of weapons, but that team's going to try to run the crap out of the ball. They're not going to put it on Dalton's shoulders.
And he's also Andy Dalton. Let's not forget.
Yes.
So I do have to run. Catch me on Twitter at FFLarryMonkey, Dynasty Hot Sauce host. Bo, I had the hot box batch. I had it on a grilled chicken wrap today. It was delicious.
I gotta get me some of that.
Yeah, pump up that hot sauce in a little bit. Yeah, Dynasty Hot Sauce. Look me up. Subscribe. Listen to we had FF Intervention. We had Chase Vernon on last night. The show's out today on iTunes and Podbean and all that stuff.
Great show. We had fun.
So check that out. And man, follow me on Twitter. FF Larry Monkey. Peace out.
Man. All right. So we got thoughts on Jerick McKinnon. We'll just go ahead and answer this one, and then we're going to hop back into the whole Le'Veon Bell talk, and we'll cover the Jets side of things if you guys have time.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I got it.
All right. Okay, cool. That's perfect. All right. So, we'll
thoughts on Jerick McKinnon. Rest of season? Is that what we go by? I think he might see that Breida role like we saw last year, and I think that's it. Mostert's the guy there until otherwise said, unless he goes down. If Mostert sustains non-injury, then he's the guy. And McKinnon, although he's shown off pretty well in that system, I think he takes a backseat to Raheem Mostert. They paid him a little bit more money to be on the field and be the guy.
I expect him to see more work, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not discounting Jerick McKinnon yet because that system is very running back heavy, and they do rotate a lot. Mostert's going to get his touches plenty, and he's very good with those touches. McKinnon is a better receiving back, and he's a system guy. He's not going to go anywhere. They're still going to trust him for 10 to 15 touches a game, and in that system, they're going to be explosive with either back. So I mean, he's still a great flex play. He's steady. He's not going to get you any goose eggs. He's going to put points on the board. It might not be as high of a ceiling as he had before Mostert came back, but he's still a viable flex option.
So I don't know if you guys saw my Twitter post earlier. It's really weird what's going on over there for the 49ers. Really weird. It's just strange. They're a running team, and they ran the ball more times inside the 5 last year than they passed. But this year so far, inside the 5, the 49ers have 9 rushing attempts. I'm sorry, the 49ers inside the 5 have 3 rushing attempts. Meanwhile, they have 9 passing attempts. And, they've scored on 2 out of those 3 rushing attempts inside the 5. Meanwhile, on the passing side of things, they've only scored on 3 out of the 9. So, their percentages are way higher when they run the ball inside the 5, but they're just not doing it. I don't really know what's happening over there.
Did that have something to do with Kittle being out?
Yeah.
And blocking on the line?
And Mostert being out.
And
because Kittle's a blocker. Well, Jeffrey Wilson was actually very heavily used inside the 5 last year. So I don't think that the Raheem Mostert being out has as much to do with it. But the George Kittle thing makes sense to me. I kind of like that.
He's the best blocking tight end in the game.
All right, last question, then we're going to hop onto the Jets. Trade Gaskin and Judy for CEH. No, you're holding on to that. CEH is not – if you didn't hear, prior to this, we are not huge fans of CEH, moving forward. It's not like we're throwing them in the trash, but we're also like, okay, this is a real thing. There's substance there. And Judy is going to remain the wide receiver 1 over there. Meanwhile, Gaskin is the main running back, and now he's not going to be touched by Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, and I mean, you had a high ceiling with CEH until this deal went down. and that's gone now. You have a pretty safe floor, I guess, with CEH. He's still going to get plenty of work, but he's not going to have that like stratospheric ceiling that he had before Bell signed. And so Gaskin, sky's the limit as long as he can stay healthy, and he's still going to be part of that offense. He's not very efficient, but touches and volume are king in fantasy. And Judy he's pretty impressive. I mean, with the quarterback play they've had, he's still balling out every week. He might not put up consistent floor numbers, but he's a rookie, and he's got terrible quarterbacks, and he's still making crazy plays. And so I like Judy better. I would even I would go the opposite way. If I had CEH, I'd be looking to acquire Gaskin and Judy.
Would you trade CEH straight up for Jerry Judy?
In redraft? Yeah.
In a half-point PPR, yes.
Yes.
What about in Dynasty? What would it take you to come off of CEH if you had CEH and they were offering Judy? What would it be like? Judy and a second-round pick, Judy and a third-round pick?
Yeah, Judy and Gibson.
Come on, you're not getting that.
Hey, I'm always trying to lowball guys.
I would throw them a third to give me Gibson and Judy.
Oh man! All right, so let's just go ahead and dive into the rest of the Jets side of things. And when we look at the Jets, especially this matchup upcoming, Frank Gore could actually have a game, and it's gross for me to say. I said it last night, and it tasted so bad saying that in my mouth. But all the running backs that have gone up against who are they playing this week?
Miami.
All the running backs up against Miami are grinders that have actually produced, like Chris Carson type players. And I know that Frank Gore isn't on Chris Carson's level, but we could see 2 touchdowns and like 60 or 70 yards from Frank Gore this week. I know it's not likely, but it's possible. It's possible because LaMichael Pirine isn't overly athletic. He hasn't had a bunch of snaps, and Frank Gore is pretty much dominating the snaps over there now with Le'Veon Bell leaving. Are you guys more so on the Michael Pirine side of things or the Frank Gore side of things for the rest of the season? What are you guys thinking?
I'm going to say the Dolphins defense is going to shut the Jets down pretty easily. You saw what they did to the 49ers. So the 49ers, I think, are a better offense in every facet than the Jets are. And you had the Dolphins defense is actually pretty decent. I mean, they haven't really shut anybody down per se, but they're an adequate defense, and the Jets are a terrible offense, like absolutely like throw up in your mouth bad every game. And so if I'm doing anything with the Jets offense, it's turning my back on them and saying, let's play the Dolphins defense.
I think it's yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. And it's still, even with the Lev Bell move, it's still the same thing. The only Jet you really want to go own in that is Crowder, and that's the whole thing. I mean, you have Joe Flacco still there. Darnold's not coming back this week, and all he's going to do is look for Crowder to get rid of the ball as fast as he can. I don't think Frank Gore, especially up against Miami, who I think has a pretty good rush defense, not like a sack defense, but a hurry up defense to rush the quarterback. He's going to be looking to get rid of the ball fast. I think if Pirine gets on the field, we could see a little flash, maybe a play here or a play there. But yeah, I'm staying away from that Jets backfield until we see the clear-cut guy, if there even is one. It may look like more like Buffalo last year with Singletary and Gore than we expect, but that offensive line is just atrocious. And yeah, man, I'm staying away from it. I like with Bo, man. I'm taking the Miami defense over both of them. The problem, Miami defense probably have more points than Pirine and Gore put together.
I bet you Gore.
We all know.
Actually, Gore was Le'Veon Bell's babysitter back in the day.
Dude, guys, we already know. We already know that Frank Gore is a burner, and Miami gives up the 7th most explosive plays to the running back position, right? So Frank Gore is.
Oh man,
he's a tightly rolled
Oh,
cigarette.
man.
He's a slow burner.
he's a slow burner.
I do want to mention Jeff Smith saw 11 targets last week. He only had 3 receptions because, of course, Joe Flacco is very inaccurate as a whole. he targets the ground a whole shit ton. But yeah, Jeff Smith, he's still a hold for me, by the way, especially with that running game. They could see a lot of, third and longs if Frank Gore can't get, 4 yards of carry in this game. So we could see a lot of, third and longs, which would create a, valid option at wide receiver for Jeff Smith. So we got one last question. We're going to go ahead and sign out. You guys are down? You guys ready to get out of here? All right, 10-team league, 0.5 PPR, pick 2, wide receiver and 1 flex. Tyler Boyd, Kenny Galladay, Terry McLaurin, Robert Woods, James Crowder, Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh.
I don't think you can ever bench Kenny
Are we
Galladay.
setting this guy's lineup? Is that what we're doing? We're setting Sean's lineup?
Yeah, I guess so.
Sean needs our help.
Sean needs our help. All right, Kenny Galladay is a lock. He's a lock.
Galladay locked. Bobby
Jameson Crowder. I don't
Bobby
know.
Trees. I would say Bobby Trees and Galladay, and then throw Jonathan Taylor in your flex. I'm staying away from McLaurin this week. He's got Bradbury in coverage, and Bradbury's been doing pretty good. He shut down Amari Cooper last week. I'm staying away from that. And Bradbury, then Boyd, I think with Boyd, Joe Burrow's going to have to stretch the field a little bit. Obviously, Boyd will get some touches, but I think this might be the Jonathan Taylor breakout game that we're looking for.
Costanzo is healthy. He's practicing, and that's humongous.
That's huge.
Because it's not enough to have a big mountain boy on the other side. Costanzo is another great run blocker on that offensive line, and they've been missing him dearly.
Yes, they have.
He's a road grader. He's going to be busting through that defensive line like nobody else, and so you get him added back to the picture. JT's going to eat, and you can't bench JT. Hasn't been that great. He hasn't broken out yet, but you always see that potential every time he touches the ball. You're like, oh, is this it? Is this it? Yeah, that's it's.
And that Cincinnati defense, then they just bleed points to the running back. So yeah.
I think I might lean Jamison Crowder over Robert Woods.
Why?
I think what happened last week with the 49ers was more of like a gaffe. Like, I don't see that as a consistent thing. I know they did it, up against the Giants. That's tough for me.
What's the status of? I don't know what the status is of the secondary for the 49ers. That'll have a lot to do with it. Their cornerback situation is very, very poor right now.
They didn't even roll coverage to help the practice squad guy. They signed him off the streets and they left him on an island. And Preston Williams actually got open against that guy.
But Preston Williams lines up on the left, right? Doesn't Robert Woods line up on the right?
Robert Woods is the slot.
No,
Robert Woods is the Cooper Kupp is the slot. Robert Woods is the right side. But he flip flops, man. He flip flops back and forth, and they run
a lot of tight run positions. So they run kind of a modified wing T spread where they're tight to the formation. So they almost have 4 slot receivers on the field at the same time.
Yeah. Whoa! I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So they run that 12 a lot.
They run 12. They run 12 with the 2 wide receivers at more of a wing position, so they can run end arounds and shovel passes. Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are both slot receivers, and they very rarely run them outside the numbers in a formation. So Woods is your left wide receiver by definition, but he's all over the field.
No, he's the right. He's the right.
He's the right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's looking at 121 right slot snaps.
Yeah.
Right out, he has 24. Left slot is 77 and left out is 11. So, and tight end, he's lining up at technically the tight end position on 50 on the right hand side.
Tight positions. They run in slot both sides. So
I mean, it's pretty close between Woods and Crowder, to be honest. Like we said, Crowder is going to get the majority of the targets. We saw it last week, and Miami is like I think 10th worst against the wide receiver, giving up like 24 fantasy points a game.
Yeah,
so
those are both high floor players, but Robert Woods has more upside for me.
It's close. It's a close one, but I do like Robert Woods a lot more than what I thought I did prior to this conversation. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Y'all want to plug where they can find you?
Sure.
You can find me at Bo_McBigTime. Also, I sell my hot sauce and barbecue rub on hotboxbatch.com.
Oh, it's so good.
Get you some of that sauce. And you can also read my writing at nimblewithnumbers.com, nimbleWnumbers.com, as well as at podcasticnetwork.com.
And
Chef.
my name is James Crease. You can find me at FF_chef on Twitter. Juan, who was on here before, FF One of a Kind. We host the Tilt is Real fantasy football podcast. Very nice for beginner levels all the way up to Dynasty. We do both. What else? Oh, the Fantasy Six Pack coming new live from Fantasy Intervention. Our great circle there. And I just got picked up by Ball Blast. Look for my stuff for soon coming out there. I'm going to be doing some Dynasty writing for them as well.
Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
To your work.
Yeah, so you guys can check us out at Fantasy Intervention. It's join our circle _ on Twitter, of course, at join our circle _ You guys can find all of our content though at linktr.ee/fantasy intervention. That's where you can find all of our social media accounts. Everything that's going on behind the scenes is about to explode. So you guys want to get in on that. Please make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go search Fantasy Intervention or go to the Linktree, linktr.ee/fantasy intervention. Once we actually get up to 100 subscribers on there, we can actually customize our channel and do some fun stuff with that. So yeah, go tell your friends. Tell your friends to tell your friends to tell your friends. And get your mom on there. Get your mom on there. Our shows are only a little fucked up sometimes.
Mid filter.
If you guys want to check out me personally on Twitter, it's FF_intervention. So make sure you guys go check that out as well, and go join Fantasy Football Discussion on Facebook if you guys are Facebook people. That sounded wrong. Is that wrong? That sounded wrong. Anyways, guys, thank you all for listening once again to our breakout report for, of course, the whole Le'Veon Bell situation. And thank you guys for letting us intervene with your fantasy football life. We're out.